Hey guys, Shadney back with another process video, and this is day 11 of the 31 Days of Spooky Scraps series. So what I've done, I've got 8 pictures printed, and I just shrunk them down so that I could fit 4 on each 4x6 page. And then I've pulled out, these are the hexagon, sorry, I couldn't remember the word for a second. The hexagon shapes. It's like the Hexagon Rings or something like that, or frames, something like that in the shop. And they come with a bunch, 6 different sizes, 7 different sizes, I think, of hexagons. And so I've taken the size that I want to use that will comfortably fit these photos. It's just a little bit smaller, and I'm tracing the inside ring on the photos so that it makes it really easy that you can kind of frame out the photo and decide exactly where you want it to be. And then I'm using my pencil just to trace around, and then I'll go back and cut with my scissors to just cut those photos out. Then I'm going to do the exact same thing with a whole bunch of paper. I chose some that are, what are they called? Scraps. And then a bunch out of, my 6x8 and 6x6 paper pads, mostly 6x8, but anyways, so I'm going to go through and cut out a bunch of these really quickly, give or take 2 of each pattern, and then I'm going to show you right here where I've taken them all, cut them all out, traced them. And these, okay, so the photos, I traced the inside of for the photos, and then for the pattern paper, I traced the outside for that, so that whenever I stack the photos on top of the paper, there'll be a good like 1/4 of an inch around to show the pattern paper behind the photo. You'll see in a second whenever I stick the photos down, you'll understand what I'm saying. But anyway, so I've taken and done about 2 of each pattern paper, and then I traced and cut out just like I did with the photos, and then I inked the edges of these. Now I'm just trying to arrange everything to decide exactly where I want it. I, just like any other time, we're trying to keep the similar patterns and similar colors kind of spread out throughout so that it carries those papers through the whole page. So like those really bright orange, I'm trying to keep not all right next to each other. Same with the darker orange or the black and white, etc., etc. So we're going through just kind of randomly laying these out, and then I'm taking my tear tape and I'm going to add tear tape just to the center of each hexagon so that the edges can still be kind of dimensional a little bit. And I am kind of like gently curling the edges up a little bit before I stick it down, but then that way with the tear tape down in the center, they'll still hold really well, but we'll have that extra little texture of the edges not being completely stuck down flat. I'm tired, guys, sorry. I'm not with it. So I'm just going through and adding all of these, and I do have plenty of them overlapping the edges so that when they hang off, we'll go in and trim them down. But I'm going from that bottom left to top right diagonally, and just leaving a good little space between each one so you can see that pattern paper behind. And I forgot to mention, I did layer on, I think we talked about this whenever I was choosing backgrounds, but I layered on the black and white background over top of that orange, and just cut, I think it was in a half inch for each side, so an inch off total. And then I did rough up the edges just a little bit, but just with my finger, not with like scissors or anything, and adhered that all down. And that, because there is so much added to this, it makes the page kind of heavier in the end, and that will help it kind of give it some more stability so that it's not like flimsy or floppy, the background. So I'm going through and just doing all these. It doesn't have to be perfect. They're just getting stuck down where they're kind of generally about spaced out about the same. The other thing with spacing them out like this, because those hexagons are freehand cut, I mean, I traced, but still they're not going to be perfect exact shapes. Leaving the space, especially randomly like it is, will help to keep, how do I say it? When the hexagons aren't perfect, they're not going to butt up against each other exactly perfectly. So this helps that, because you don't have to have that, because you get a little bit of wiggle room using that extra little bit of space. So I've got all of these stuck down, and then I'm going to go in and start adding photos. On the photos, this is not something I usually do because I like to back my photos really solidly with fun foam or foam tape or anything like that. But in this one instance, I am just adhering them down with a single Stamp Dimensional whenever I do start sticking them down. Sorry. The Stamp Dimensionals are sticky enough and sturdy enough to hold the photo down with just one. But the other reason I like it like that is I don't want to add a whole lot of bulk, and I honestly, when I was doing this, I was kind of lazy and didn't want to go in and do like very cut up pieces of fun foam for every single one to fully back all the photos. But it gives it like a little kind of floating element so that the photos are not stuck down flat, but they're also not super, super dimensional or anything like that. So just going in and trimming up the extras. I do save all of these because I figured I can use them on another layout later, but I'm not sure which one yet. So I'm going in with the other rings that are smaller than the one I used to trace all these pieces, and I'm just sticking those down using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and just kind of spreading those out again, keeping them throughout the page. The one around the little peace sign hand, I did make sure to do that so that you could still see the little peace sign hand. It kind of frames it out perfectly. And then after that, I'm just going to go in and start adding all of my embellishments. These little cork pieces are from the shop as well, and they're just cork hexagons. They are adhesive backed, and so they just peel and stick really nicely, and they're super, super thin. They're like a millimeter thickness or something like that, maybe less than that. They might be less than that. They're super thin, which is nice. It makes them a little bit more delicate to try to peel the back off and stuff like that, and it makes it where like the shapes and everything that I cut out of them, I have to keep them more generalized. I can't do really delicate shapes or they'll break apart really easily, but they do they don't give a whole lot of bulk, and they just have a nice little bit of texture, and they are adhesive back, like I said, so you don't have to add extra adhesive or anything. And so far the adhesive seems to be really good quality. Like, I haven't had any problems with anything falling off or anything. Now I'm just going through all of my Halloween wood veneer embellishments and pulling out some goodies to go with this. I'm pulling out pieces that have pink, as well as all these little balloon wood veneer pieces. The inspiration photo for this day, is it 11? I think we're on day 11 still. For day 11 is not only that layout that we're scrap lifting with the hexagons, but I also added that little balloon arch banner thing. Balloon arch. And it's pink and orange and has, it's balloons, obviously. So I thought it was kind of perfect for this and to do it as balloons. So with each one, I'm adding pink baker's twine to the balloons that I'm going to be using, and then using a Stampin' Dimensional to adhere them down to the page. I am just kind of spreading them out a little bit. And they're not ones that have to go directly on the middle of a hexagon. Some of them are going in between, like in the junctions of them, but just kind of spreading them out so that they go around. I could have put all of them, but I really thought 3 was enough. I didn't want to overwhelm the page with a bunch more. This sounds stupid, but I didn't want to have like a whole bunch of strings everywhere. That sounds weird, but that's where I was. Down here at the bottom, I'm adding a label where I can add my little journaling. And then honestly, I'm just using that Hey Pumpkin as my title. I am a big stickler for thickers and needing a title for every page, but I didn't really know what to put and I didn't want to deal with letters, so I thought that was kind of good enough. And then I'm going to go in and get this black cat and add him on there. And then that's pretty much it for this layout. I will adhere him down with Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I'm going to go in and kind of curl those strings around with the baker's twine and adhere them a little better so that they're not just sticking straight onto the page, and they'll kind of wind around and be a little bit more, what's the word? More decorative, more purposeful, I should say. So, and again, just using that Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. So this is pretty much it. This is the layout. I'll go in and add my journaling to that little label, and then that will be about it. So I would love to see y'all's layouts. If y'all are playing along or participating in the 31 days of spooky scraps, please tag me on Instagram or use the hashtag 31 days of spooky scraps, so that I can see what y'all are making and everyone else can as well. And then if you want the free printable or to purchase a physical copy of the free printable, you can follow the links down in the video description below. So this is the layout, and in just a second I'll show you the up closes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a nice way to get lots of photos on your page. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day and happy scrapping. Bye.